Bonjour French 1, this is your section 2.1 video all about vocabulary words for things and activities that you could potentially express as either liking or disliking. So eventually you'll be able to put all of these words into sentences and say I like these items or activities, or I don't like these items or activities. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that masculine items are tabbed over to the left-hand side of your page, whereas feminine items are tabbed over to the right-hand side of your page. Also, you only have to write down the words that are on the lines with the yellow background. You are not required to write the words that are in parentheses with the green background, as they are simply the pronunciation explanation, and it's your choice whether you want to write them down. Now, I tried to organize these into like items. The first section of these items are all things that have to do with school. Keep in mind, as I pronounce these for you, it would be really helpful if you would take the time to repeat after me so that you're getting the total vocab experience of hearing the word, seeing the word, writing the word, and saying the word all at once. So let's go ahead and start with English as a foreign language for the French folks and as an actual language and grammar class for you guys. The word English in French is l'anglais. The word for French class is le français. Math class is les mathématiques, or simply les maths. And the word for school is l'école. The next section has everything to do with music, starting with the word for an MP3 player. I know nowadays most people listen to music on their phones, but back in the day that your textbook was written, they had many MP3 players out and about. MP3 player is le baladeur, or sometimes you'll hear it called le baladeur MP3. Headphones are les écouteurs. Classical music is la musique classique. Any kind of modern music that you would hear on the radio would be considered la musique moderne. And the radio itself is la radio. The next section of words has to do with things that you can read, including a novel, which is le roman, a newspaper, which is le journal, a magazine, which is le magazine, and comic strips or comic books, which is either la bande dessinée or la BD for short. The next segment has to do with artistic things, including le crayon de couleur, which is a colored pencil, and un dessin, which is a drawing. Next section has a few food items for you, including the French word for chocolate, which is le chocolat, the word for French fries, which are les frites, and ice cream, which is la glace. Finally, a few random words that I couldn't figure out how to fit them in anywhere else. Again, this is kind of dating your textbook, but the word for an instant message, or nowadays what we'd call a text message. Usually nowadays they call text messages un texto, but it used to be instant messages were called un SMS. Vacation is les vacances. And a sports car is la voiture de sport. Now, if these words seem really random to you, it's because they're trying to cover a lot of bases here, so that no matter who you are and what you like and all of that, whatever your personality is, you can hopefully find something among these items that you can talk about liking or disliking. Now, on the back of your paper, you have activities that you can talk about liking and disliking. And the reason why they are straight down the middle and not tabbed to one side or the other is these are not nouns. These are action words. These are verbs. Every noun, nouns remember are people, places, and things, has a gender in the French language. But action words, verbs, do not. So words like avoir, which we've learned so far, which is the verb for to have, and all of these words are not considered to have a gender. So they're verbs and action words, and therefore do not take a gender, and so they go straight down the middle of your page. Once again, keep in mind you only need to write down the words that are on the line. Let's go ahead and run through them. The verb for to draw is dessiner. The word for to sing is chanter. To sleep is dormir. And if you think about how in college you sleep in a dorm, as in a dormitory, you might realize where the word sleep comes from. To listen to music is écouter de la musique. Again, dating the textbook again here. Sending an email is so not a big deal anymore, but they are going ahead and teaching it to you. Envoyer un email. To study is étudier. To read is lire. And if you remember that livre, L-I-V-R-E, is the word for book, it's easy to see where the word lire, the word for to read, comes from. And manger, which is to eat. Some other activities include parler, specifically here parler anglais, which is to speak English, and parler français, which is to speak French. Regarder la télé is to watch TV. Surfing the internet is surfer sur internet. Calling or telephoning or talking on the phone with friends is téléphoner à des amis. And the verb for to work is travailler. Be careful, a lot of people like to assume that travailler is to travel, and in fact I want to go ahead and add this to your notes right now on the fly. Voyager is actually the word for to travel. So go ahead and add that so you don't accidentally mix up travailler with voyager. Travailler is to work, voyager is to travel. Also take a moment to go ahead and fill out that last section where you either summarize what you've learned, ask a question, or give me a little bit of a critique that can make this video better for next year. I always appreciate your comments, and if you have a question, it really makes it easy for me to respond and make sure that I make the video clear for you. Make sure you bring these notes with you to class so you can get full credit for watching the video and doing your homework.